Wonderfully done, Taash. While you played with the big scary dragon, we looted the shiny stuff from her cave. So, Rook, Varric's talked about you. I see he wasn't making shit up this time. They call me Isabella, among other things.
What did you find in the cave?
A lot of dragon shit, gold, some fancy trinkets, and this.
If it puts a smile on your face, that's good enough for me.
Oh, it does.
Thank you for all your efforts. This is just as I had hoped.
Rook, this is Shathan. She's our expert on Qunari artifacts.
This piece predates the Steel Age by centuries. It comes from an earlier attempt at settlement. One that left no survivors. You used your fire.
What? No.
Were you seen by the Antam? You promised you would be careful, Evatash. You need to be away for a while. It is good you are joining Rook's team.
I'm what?
Wait, were you not aware of this? Our contact here said you'd agree to join us.
Didn't Shathan... I thought you and your mother had agreed on this.
Nope.
Whoops. Well, you'll work it out. You always do. For gold and glory, Taash. You're welcome back whenever. Rook, pleasure doing business with you.
Mother, what did you do?
I thought you would enjoy the chance to work with Rook's team. Do you not wish to stop these blighted dragons?
Of course I do. I might have decided to join on my own. Maybe after you talked to me.
I talked to you about not using your fire in front of the Antam. I will prepare potions for you to take. Would you prefer ginger or lavender?
The ginger.
Hassam Vinek. Rook, you will keep her safe.
She strong-armed you onto the team just like that, huh?
Looks like.
Anyway, welcome to the team. Might not be what you wanted, but we could really use the help.
I'll get my stuff. Hey. It is.
Sorry?
Joining your team. It is what I wanted.
Glad to hear it.
What the Venatori ultimately intended with their incursions into the necropolis worries me. Whether or not it was directed by the gods, the timing serves them well. Chaos, I fear, is their ally.
With this, Demeter's Crossing and the Blighted Dragons, and everything else we're all dealing with, feels like we're at war. A lot of little wars.
So instead of one giant fight, we have a lot of smaller ones. I bet that won't make things any easier.
The gods have made bargains with the worst people in Thedas, offered them all power. And it's not as though the Antam or Venatori will care about the price.
So how do we fight back then?
We don't have an army, but we do have allies. Like the Veil Jumpers.
After Demeter's Crossing, it's personal for them.
The Shadow Dragons. I should have earned my way back into their good graces after we saved Minrathous.
Tarquin won't ever admit it, but he was impressed.
Also, Lady Morrigan requested a meeting at the Cobbled Swan in Minrathous.
Could she have found some trace of the gods?
Probably. Morrigan doesn't visit crowded taverns for fun.
I also heard from Grey Wardens out in the Hossberg wetlands, Antoine and Evka. Something strange is happening with the Blight there. I bet it involves the gods.
The first warden didn't seem impressed the last time we met.
I heard he told you to piss up a rope.
Will he be in the wetlands?
I don't keep track, but he can't stop you from asking a few questions, if we're fast enough.
Any details on the blight in the wetlands?
Antoine said he didn't write it down.
Why not?
Either he didn't trust someone else wouldn't read the note, or he didn't want us to panic.
Gillenane has laid low since we hurt her dragon, but the blight spreads rot wherever the gods go.
And no one's better at tracking blight than wardens.
Morrigan and those wardens feel like our best leads on finding the gods.
Are they really gods? Or just ancient mages? It's not clear.
They're gods. In their power and wrath, at least.
Lucanus, you're back.
I am.
Good to have you back. This is Professor Emmerich Volkarin, our Fade expert, and Taash, our dragon hunter. They joined while you were away.
Hey.
Charmed.
Right. Not everyone has met.
So, a dragon hunter. Treviso could have used you.
What's happening there?
It's just... people blame you for what happened to Treviso, Rook. But they did not have to make that choice, knowing what the gods are capable of. There was no recall. Still, it changes things. How could it not?
But you're back with us.
Yes, here to stay.
Given how things have gone, I wouldn't blame you for staying away. So thanks. We can't do this without you.
After what they did to Treviso, I want these gods to fall. I don't see anyone else with a better chance than you. My blade's yours. Until the end.
Great. Let's follow up on some leads.
I'll let Lady Morrigan know we're ready to meet.
I'll send word to Antoine and Evka. They're holed up in a town called Lavendel.
Everyone else should rest up. Be ready to move when I call.
Never easy, is it, kid?
What do you mean?
Making the big choices, then living with the consequences.
I don't think it ever should be easy. As soon as it gets easy, you're not the right person to make those decisions. It needs to be hard. That's how you know you're taking it seriously.
And that's why I recruited you, Rook. You get that. Not everyone does. Anyway, you've got a meeting with Morrigan to attend, and dealing with whatever the wardens found. All this chatting is taking it out of me. Think I'll rest for a bit. Good work, Rook. You'll find your way through this. I know it.
Did I see you writing a message to the Inquisition? What's that about?
You know, Varric and I were part of the Inquisition, right? I'm trying to get news about the South. But Charter hasn't replied to any of my messages. I'm trying not to worry about what's happening there, but... No, it's probably fine. Charter's just busy. She's always busy.
Charter. Who's that?
She's the Inquisition's spy master. Or she would be, if there was still an Inquisition. I suppose she just works for the Inquisitor now?
I haven't heard much about the Inquisition in years.
Oh, that's intentional. When the breach was open, we needed a large group to stop Southern Thedas from falling into chaos. It's changed in the years since. We're a smaller force working underground to keep an eye on things going on in the world.
A spy master? She doesn't know things about me, does she? Do I need to worry?
Charter probably knows everything about you. Oh, but she's not going to use it against you. I mean, if you behave.
So how long were you with the Inquisition? 10 years?
Something like that. Why?
You must know the Inquisitor.
Well, yeah, we worked together. I wasn't part of the Inquisitor's inner circle, though. I spent more time with the ordinary people, the ones you didn't hear about.
So, tell me about these ordinary Inquisition members I haven't heard about.
The Inquisition hired hundreds, and most of them weren't Magisters or Ben Hassrith or the left hand of the Divine. There were scouts and stable hands, carpenters and cooks and quartermasters, even 2 dedicated pastry chefs. Most of them volunteered, like me. We wanted to help in whatever small way we could.
I'm sure those pastries were a great help.
My ma likes to say that sometimes the pie is for eating, and sometimes it's for crying into. Doesn't even need to be pie. Rector liked cake, and Faulkner loved soup. But food was always a comfort.
Rector? Faulkner?
Liliana gave all her agents pseudonyms.
Right, like Charter.
Well, Charter's Charter, but when the other 2 and I were together, we were just Lace, Wilbur, and Katya.
But you did know people from the Inquisitor's inner circle, didn't you?
I knew them, sure, but those early days, all I wanted was to prove myself and not get in anyone's way. Some of them were more approachable than others. Sarah was a puppy with a new toy. 100 new toys. Fun, if you can handle the mess. She was really the only one who could make Rainier, well, Blackwall then, let down his guard. Otherwise, he kept to himself and stuck to the stables. We'd talk when I visited the horses. And there was Cole, of course.
The spirit boy?
Yep. I was just sitting on the walls one day, and he asked if he could join my game.
Like a card game?
Nah, just good old people watching. Must have seemed like a game to him somehow. We'd pick strangers out of the crowd and try to say something about them. Like, ooh, she heard the joke yesterday and she's still trying not to laugh. Or one of Cole's. His eyes remind her of the ones beneath her bed.
Who stores eyes under their bed? I'm partial to a nice wall display myself.
Well, that's one interpretation that never occurred to me. Thanks.
You're welcome. Wasn't Cole an empath? He must have been great at this game.
Ah, but the rule was you couldn't say anything you actually knew. He got it in the end. I think.
So you didn't ask him if you guessed right?
Well, being right wasn't the point. Making a habit of seeing people was. I think he liked that. It's why you don't miss.
And the Inquisitor's advisors, what about them?
Of all of them, I'd say Josephine is my favorite. She's lovely. She still sends me a box of handmade sweets from Val Royeaux every year on my name day. Cullen and I got along too, but he was always busy. He would have bad days from lyrium withdrawal sometimes, and I would share the tea that my ma sent. He's from Ferelden too. Maybe it reminded him of home.
What about Liliana? I heard she's intense.
I think she likes to cultivate that reputation. She's not nearly as terrifying as she sounds. Oh, I passed her in the Great Hall one day, and she suddenly turned and asked me if I wanted a nug.
A nug? Those small pink rodent things? What for?
She loved them and made a hobby of breeding them as pets.
So, did you take the nug?
No! What am I gonna do with a nug?
Do you miss it? The Inquisition, I mean.
It's hard to miss an organization. They're only as good as their people, don't you think? But I do miss my friends. We write each other, but it's not the same. And the Inquisition is different from what we've built here. Not better or worse, just different. It's special when you're among people working toward the same goal.
Not everyone. There was Solus. What did you really think of him back then?
Lonely. He always seemed lonely. It's hard not to be when you hold yourself above everyone else.
He might be lonely, but I doubt he cares. He's single-minded. Nothing else matters besides his crusade.
Because it's the only thing he's had. My ma used to say, a caged dog forgets there's grass outside. Anyway, I'm sure something out there's on fire, and here I am rambling about the past. I should let you go. Talk later?
Usually have to dodge traps and fight spiders to see this much old elven stuff. Talk to Isabella if you want to sell any of it. She'll get you a good deal.
Spoken like a veteran treasure hunter.
Yep. For gold and glory. The lords make runs no one else can. Isabella's undies would catch fire if she saw all this.
Bet you deal with a lot of nasty traps during those treasure hunts.
Yep.
What's the most complicated one you've dealt with?
Old elven armory. Had letters on tiles. Probably supposed to spell out the name of a god or something.
Probably.
I don't read elven. Found handholds in the ceiling and swung across.
That sounds more like a puzzle than a trap.
Ugh. Puzzles.
You've got the right idea going across the ceiling. Varric and I ran into an old elven puzzle once while we were hunting for Solus. There were these talking statues.
Riddles?
One only lied, one only told the truth, I think.
Ugh. What'd you do?
Varric gave them an autographed copy of his book. Turns out he's really popular in the Fade.
Nice.
So why do the Lords of Fortune care enough about dragons to have a dedicated dragon hunter?
Lots of great old crap ends up in dragon hordes.
Why do dragons care about gathering treasure? It's not like they go to the market.
Dragons like metals and gems. Anything glittery catches their eye.
So they're like really large magpies?
Kinda. And they live for centuries. Lots of time to gather a bunch of shiny crap. Plus all the gear carried by idiots who thought they could kill a dragon.
Feel free to use the ancient elven artifacts for weight training, but nothing leaves with you, okay?
Don't worry about that. The Lords of Fortune aren't thieves.
Most of us shadow dragons are wanted for worse than theft. But if some lords are in it for themselves...
Nah. Anything we hunt is salvage. Old forgotten ruins and crap. And we make sure we're not screwing over a culture that lost it. That's what my mother does with the Kunari stuff.
How does the Ravani Royal Guard feel about the Lords of Fortune?
They used to complain about us. But that was before the Antam invaded Ravane.
And now Ravane sees the benefits of having a bunch of heavily armed people on their side.
Same for the Pirate Armada. It's bigger than Ravane's official navy. But we're also helping save old artifacts. The Antam are burning ruins as they move south. We get artifacts out before the Antam destroy them. Magical stuff. Cultural stuff. Stuff you don't want to lose.
So your mother appraises Kunari artifacts the Lords of Fortune find?
Yeah. She tells them how rare something is. How much it might be worth. Also tells them if they found something cultural.
Cultural?
You know, important. Stuff you don't want going to some rich noble's collection. The lords send that stuff back to the Kunari in Parvalin. They pay the lords a finder's fee.
Just a finder's fee?
Yep.
But the lords at the top could be charging anything for these artifacts and you wouldn't know.
I know what happened to the last lord who blooded contact. That's enough. The lords are good people. They helped my mother when she came here from Kantar. She got here with nothing but me and the clothes on her back. Only skill she had was Kunari history. The lords gave her work.
All right. I guess I'll just leave you here. A treasure hunter. With all the priceless artifacts.
Okay, I was gonna go back to Ravane later. Got a thing to do for my mother. You can come along, if you want.
Do I need to be ready for combat? Or traps?
Nah.
All right. Just let me know when.
Rook, I was thinking of taking Hassan for a walk. He could use the exercise. Chance to stretch his wings. Thought you'd like to come along. I've been thinking. Lancet and Remy used special food to train the griffins. Said it was the fastest way to start a bond.
Right. What did you call it? Tullum?
That's it. And gingerwort truffles were the griffins' favorite treats. They grow around ruins. We're going to teach Hassan how to find some.
How did you end up with the Grey Wardens?
Grew up in a Dalish clan. I'd hear all these stories about things that happened thousands of years ago.
The Dalish do love their history.
Except I wanted to make history. Didn't fit in. Got bored, so I went looking for adventure.
How'd that go over with your clan?
Poorly. They felt like I rejected them.
Did you?
Yeah, I suppose. Clan life wasn't for me. I had to get away.
So then what happened? You're out in the world looking for adventure?
Got my ass kicked. Went broke. I couldn't go crawling back to my clan of failure. Doubt they'd take me back. It forced me to figure out what I was good at. Always had a knack for hunting. What are you doing? That's not a truffle. That's a nug. You'll get fleas.
At least he's having fun.
Truth is, he purrs when you scratch him. Maybe we can speed things up by helping him. Let's search the bushes. Look around for truffles. It's fleas, isn't it? What'd I tell you?
Actually, I think it's a truffle.
Huh.
Maybe the nugs, like truffles. Could Hassan know that if you follow them, you might find truffles?
Are you really that smart, boy?
Seems pretty clever to me.
If only you'd be clever enough to listen.
Well, you're still getting to know each other. Remember? Tullum? Remy was probably right. Remember how she said he needed a lighter touch?
If I go soft on him, the world would chew him up.
Let's give you both a chance and see if we can find any more of these.
How?
Find some nugs, see what happens. So, how did you go from hunter to slayer of monsters?
Uncle Eldrin. An old elf I knew growing up. When I was a kid, I'd hunt just about anything. Rabbits, deer, fox. Eldrin gave that purpose. Taught me the way of 3 trees. The way of the arrow, way of the bow, way of the wood.
That sounds noble.
Eldrin taught me to hunt the unnatural so the natural can thrive. Be a force for good. Besides, it was either that or starve. Monsters paid good coin.
But why become a Grey Warden? If you were making money on your own?
I didn't leave my clan to get rich. Had to prove it was all worth something. I needed a cause.
There must be easier causes than fighting Darkspawn all your life.
Darkness is a sparring partner. The greater the shadow you confront, the stronger you are for winning.
Till you meet one you can't beat?
Haven't yet. I'll be damned. Follow the nugs.
Like I said, he's a clever one.
Might make a tracker out of you yet. Hungry? What? It's gingerwort. Eat it.
Remember, light touch.
I mean, it's dessert fit for a prince. See?
He'll be fine. He just has a strong spirit. Let him grow into it.
Might not have time for that. With Lancet and Remy gone, if something happens to me, he'll have to stand on his own.
So don't let anything happen to you.
I'm a Grey Warden. Death's around every corner. Not that I don't enjoy punching it squarely in the face.
I like that confidence.
That's how you win.
It's not all about winning. Sometimes I enjoy the pursuit too.
Ah, the thrill of the chase. Okay, boy. That's enough for one day.
But he's having fun.
He overeats, and you'll find out how fun griffin puke is.
Hassan, you heard him. Let's go.
I'm sorry, but I find it completely unnatural.
I don't get why you think cremation's so bad. Everyone outside Navarra burns their dead.
All those lost vessels, fine mansions reduced to ash. Manfred, for instance. How would his wisp have fared if I hadn't given it a body?
What does Manfred understand exactly?
Simple things, but he grows. Spirits of curiosity are voracious learners. The more he experiences, the more sophisticated his conclusions. With guidance, of course.
Where or who'd you get his body from?
There was no single donor. The arms were recovered from a charnel pit. The ribs were a gift from a dear friend. And Manfred's wisp picked out his own skull from some donations. That was quite the day. He's been fine company during my necropolis excursions ever since.
Yep, same to you.
It's just Manfred's way of saying hello. I encountered him as a wisp in the necropolis years ago. A simple spirit, but so curious. He refused to leave my side.
So, you built a skeleton for the spirit to live in?
Spirits are formed from the emotions and desires of people in the mortal realm. Manfred's wisp came from curiosity. It's these spirits which animate the dead. Their drive revives the corpse, yet the corpse colors their actions. Thus, the eternal question, are undead inhuman spirits puppeting a body, or does some shade of the departed return?
I can't answer that. Can you?
I've come to believe there is a return. I swear I could see it sometimes, Rook. A glint of recognition of something more in the dead.
Hey, that's my sleeve. Are you trying to steal my buttons?
As well as a certain mischievousness. Manfred.
Carving monsters, huh? Didn't figure you for an artist.
This? It's by necessity. If you know your enemy, their weak spots, maybe you live another day.
Well, when the army of miniature monsters invade, we'll know how to beat them.
Size is nothing. A Rygar can ruin your day with one bite. The poison swells your brain.
That could explain Solus.
Standard bestiaries are always some mage drawing things they've never seen, taking the piss out of it. They don't understand how when the hunt ends and you come nose to nose with an ogre, someone's going to die. So I'm making the real Monster Hunter manual.
Who are you doing it for?
Balmor, that imbecile in Teventer, lecturing on things he doesn't know about. And Ludric over in Ravane thinks taking a rock wraith down with a lucky shot makes him a champion.
You think you'd know better? It's sculpting toy monsters that makes you a champion.
That's right. He never understood. You're a funny one.
I couldn't help it.
Okay, maybe I'm taking this a little far. But if you say you're an expert, show me some expertise.
I like a hunt with some challenge to it.
What's your quarry?
I'm thinking a Grey Warden. Maybe an elf. Maybe both. I can't decide.
That too much to handle?
It's best if you keep them guessing.
Well, you'll need special bait to lure that sort out. Doesn't just fall for anything.
Noted. So, where's the Gloomhowler in all this?
Can't carve it till I know what it is. You want a piece of the Howler boy?
Is he ready?
Was I ready the first time I fought a Hurlock?
Well, you're still alive.
I got my ass handed to me. Broke 4 ribs and cracked my jaw. Then I got back up and drove a blade through its skull. In this line of work, Asan and I are only as strong as the quarry we hunt.
Maybe, but go easy on him. He's still getting the hang of things.
He runs into an ogre, it won't care. It'll eat him for lunch. I didn't mean your lunch.
Too late. You said the magic word. See you around. You're up late.
You're awake to notice.
Can't sleep. I know. I'm awake to ask.
I sleep when I can get it. And this place, it's too quiet for that.
No tavern goers, no late night carts, no cats trying to claim the alley behind your house.
The Minrathous lullaby.
Okay, what works then? How do you sleep?
I don't know. Chase the right bastard through the wrong ritual? It'll knock you right out. Of course, you might wake up with a new accessory.
Really? You woke up and...
Just like that.
Huh. Wow.
There was a bit more in the middle. The ritual did a number.
And now?
It's not what keeps me up at night. It's not the quiet. I never could sleep once work gets in my head. But what's got you up at night?
My dreams have been less than good. Guess there's a lot on my mind.
Can't imagine why. Restlessness catches. Get one person in a room nervous, the whole place twitches. One person can't sleep. It's only getting later. Get out while you can.
A late night won't kill me.
Say that again in the morning.
Early mornings. Now those might kill me.
I can't believe it. We're meeting after all those letters. It's an honor, Professor Emmerich. What should I call you? I mean, with everything you've done, it feels strange to just call you Emmerich.
Emmerich is fine, please. We're not in a classroom after all. Far less predictable.
Okay, Emmerich. Right. I might call you Professor Emmerich sometimes.
What can I do for you, Rook?
I wanted to catch up on what's happened in the city. With the Shadow Dragons.
It's gotten worse recently. Venatori sympathizers are everywhere in the halls of power. Feels like we're fighting against the tide sometimes.
We've withstood the Canary tide for centuries. We're still fighting that war. What's one more? We just do what we can, bit by bit. That's how you survive the tide.
I admire that spirit, Rook. It's something you have in common with the others here. I won't give up, I promise you that. I owe it to all of you, and to the people of Deventer. When my father revealed me to the Imperium as his heir, he taught me the duty of a Magister. I may not hold the title anymore, but I have not forgotten his lessons.
Magister Athenair Talani was your father? They say he was one of the good Magisters.
My father was honorable, kind, and generous. He clung to his principles when others took leave of theirs, and got himself killed. Damn my father's goodness.
You had to be revealed to the Magisterium.
A Magister must declare the inheritor of their seat. They were expecting a young man, but we decided that I would show them who I truly was. I was 15 and standing in front of all those Magisters. Their gazes told me they believed I didn't belong. But my father was behind me every step. Maevaris Talani, he told me, you deserve to be here. Stand tall and claim your birthright. And I did.
15. Speaking to the Magisterium and showing them who you are. That must have taken so much courage.
We never think we're brave enough, do we? Until we're called upon.
Whatever you're up against, gods, cults, blight, you know where to find me.
Now I won't keep you any longer. The world is troubled and we both have our parts to play. Good luck, Rook. Bring the light.
I never thanked you for helping me with the First Warden.
It was my pleasure. Nothing quite like needling authoritarian blowhards to give one such warm feelings.
Everything okay?
Everything is fine.
Absolutely. I'm not in the pocket of some Magister, and now he knows for sure.
You would have done the same, to be sure.
Or maybe I just trusted you, like a fool. High Bloods. You just can't help what you think about the rest of us, can you?
All right.
Ugh, I shouldn't have said that.
High Bloods? Is he?
Altus Mage, born and bred. Literally, bred in his case.
Yeah, I figured. You don't call yourself the Viper and walk around with that get-up unless you've got something to hide.
A fancy family name in his case.
Which name? Would I know it?
Nah, not my story to tell.
That got a little tense.
You could say that again. Everyone's on edge with all the city's troubles. The worst part? He's probably right. I would have investigated me too. You just can't trust them in Rathus Templar. Not right now.
So why even be a Templar?
I used to be a soldier. Being a Templar's not far off. Joining the military is one of the ways you get respect, as Soparati. All the men in my family are military. My father, well, he made it clear that if I wanted to live as a man, I'd have to be a soldier.
That sounds tough. Now being a soldier, a Templar.
You ever stick to something because change is too hard?
Because we can't fight on all fronts. I get it. You're a shadow dragon. Aren't the other Templars suspicious?
Most of them don't notice me, or what I do.
What do you do?
I organise the documents in the archives downtown, in the cellar.
Your administration?
It's a job. Beats sleeping in the rain. Probably thought I'd be doing something heroic, huh? So did I. Once. The cellar's where they store things they don't want to deal with. Difficult ideas, difficult people.
So you joined the Shadow Dragons?
I never really fit anywhere else. Could never be what people wanted. That story's too common around here. The other shadows get it. No questions asked.
My family's military too. My father commanded legions near Ventus. That's where he found me.
Found you?
I'm adopted. They found me as a baby on the battlefield after a skirmish. Never figured out how I got there.
And you didn't want to get into the family business either, huh? Look us. Out here in the shining capital city.
Still better than fighting in an endless war against the Qun.
You know, I hear the city does shine. If you look at it right.
He was just putting the cause first.
I know. I shouldn't be so hard on him. It's fine. It'll be fine. In a couple of days, we'll be fighting over who said sorry better. Thanks for checking in, Rook. Keep safe out there.
A Grey Warden. Are you all right?
You're Rook. I'm Vesta.
What happened?
I'm here to help the Shadow Dragons, fighting Darkspawn in the catacombs. There weren't many when we started, but then the others said to run. Get help. We can't leave the Darkspawn if they escape into the city.
Just sit tight.
So, your mom wanted you to lay low, and now you're with us.
And because I wanted to be here.
Then it looks like we pleased everyone. Isn't that novel?
Yep. It's great.
Vesta, we got the Darkspawn that attacked you. They won't get into the city.
Thank you. The Wardens will be glad to hear it.
As will the Shadow Dragons. Quillen, by the way. I'll ensure Vesta gets the healing she needs.
Good. Docktown owes her for the warning.
Right. Get better.
What's going on?
My husband, Atticus, he was going to the Snake Nest, said he needed to help a friend, and he never came home. But when I ask inside, they say he never arrived. They're lying. I know it, but...
What's your name?
Sabina.
If we learn anything, we'll let you know. So, the Snake Nest.
Used to be a busy place. Word is it slowed down.
It's worth checking out.
Hey, Manfred. How does he work?
I'm sure Emmerich would fill you in if you asked.
Yeah, but he'd add details.
All right, then. The bare-bones answer from the non-necromancer. You get your parts, put the skeleton together, some fancy ritual later, and you've got a wisp inside running the show.
Manfred's a wisp? Like the ones at your desk? You could make a bunch of moving skeletons?
Me? No. Not without some research I don't want to do. Don't worry, those wisps are staying wisps.
Good.
This Linus, he must own the snake nest. And he knows Atticus. We're looking for someone named Atticus.
Haven't seen anyone.
He was meeting someone here. He disappeared.
Yeah? People do that all over.
Well, I'm still looking into it.
Wasting your time's your business.
What happened here? A letter for Atticus. Our missing person. Someone really wanted to meet at the snake nest. Why do I have a bad feeling about how that went? A sick kid. His father thought Atticus could help, but something feels off. All right. That snake nest bartender must know something. We need to talk to her. Again. A man named Atticus came to the snake nest. We know he was headed here, that your boss Linus knows him. We've been to Linus's home.
All right. It's the boss. He's been acting weird since the kid got sick. Urgent meetings, always checking the storage. But you're Nev Gallus. If you think you can do something, I'll let you in.
I'll do what I can.
It's across the road.
Linus, the snake nest owner. He made a pact with a demon to save his kid. But the price, it was too high.
I'll follow up. Make sure the kid's still taken care of.
There's a key. We should see what else is here. How many did he kill? All for a demon. This was Atticus. His locket. We can return it to Sabina.
You were there when the gods escaped.
Sure was.
What was it like?
Strange. Chaotic. The stuff of nightmares that stick too long.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Sabina,
You're back. But Atticus.
the man who took Atticus's life. He thought it would save his child. But it wasn't right.
Atticus.
If there's anything you need, I'll see what I can do.
I don't know. I need time and to put his name on the wall of light. Thank you. At least for letting me know.
Dogtown's desperate at being targeted, then falling victim to demons. The snake nest owner. The people Compassion found. What if it's all the work of the same demon?
It's a good theory, and bad news for the people it targets.
If we keep up the work in Dogtown, maybe we'll find more.
Hey, you heard of the Hall of Valor? It's a fighting arena with the lords.
Interesting.
Just tell me when you're ready. Hey. Some for you. Some for you. Hey, don't be a dick. That was for the little one. Stupid birds.
Look at you, feeding the birds.
My mother made me do it when I was young. Sent me out here every night with dinner scraps.
We're a ways from town.
She said I had a lot of energy to burn off. Sometimes I practice with the fire out here. It's safer. No people around. Lots of water.
Is it magic or...?
It's not magic. My mother says the Kunari used to be closer to dragons. Something in our blood.
The Untarm called you a Dari.
Yeah. Old Kunari word for fire breather. A few like me are born every generation. My mother thinks Adari were meant for something special. She's always looking through the old texts for clues. Come on. Don't want to scare the birds. My mother left the Qun not far from here. She got herself transferred to Kontar from Parvalan. Smuggled me there and then walked out.
I thought Kontar was well fortified. How did she escape with a child?
The Qun isn't a prison. People can leave if they want. You little guys hungry?
Do you miss living under the Cune?
Not much to miss. I was a baby. My mother misses it. She was an Ashkari back then. A scholar.
Why'd she leave?
Me. Shathan was worried about what the Qunari would do with a fire breather like me.
What would they do?
She said they'd have me put in the Antam, use me as a berserker. The idea scared her enough that she left her library and walked away from the Qune. There you go. Come on. Over here's where I practice.
Why not on the beach?
Don't want to scare the birds. We just fed them. What the crap is that?
The Antam must be marking their territory.
Not on my beach. Vosh Vatari! Come on. These banners need to burn. Gotcha.
Nice. What does it feel like when you breathe fire like that?
It's more like spitting.
Ugh.
Something inside my throat opens up and lets stuff mix together. Then there's this rush of heat as I roar it out.
Oh, I'm surprised it doesn't hurt your mouth to do that.
It can. One time my tongue got in the way. Got a mouthful of fire.
Ouch.
Didn't hurt much. My mother has to make food extra spicy so I can taste it.
I guess that's the trade-off for being a fire breather.
It's fine. I smell stuff better than most people.
An untimed supply cache. Too bad it's locked up.
Not for long. Watch.
Wow. It burned right through it.
Yep. Melts some metals, not all.
How would you figure out which kinds of metals you could melt?
My mother said I went through a lot of spoons as a baby. Karash, it's Taash. I brought food.
Avatash. It's good you came early. The feather clouds are getting lower. It's going to rain. Who is this with you?
This is Rook. He's a friend.
A friend? All right. Make sure you both dress for rain. Drip rain, not mist rain.
What's the difference between drip rain and mist rain?
Drip rain soaks through the clothes. Mist rain just wets the skin. Sorry, I don't know all the words in your language.
Oh, I get it.
Karash was a worker caste navigator. Got dragged along with the Antam when they invaded.
They told us it was ordered by the Qune. I was not taught war. I was taught the weather. Red clouds for thunder, gray clouds for rain, green clouds for the devouring storm, and black clouds for the Antam cannons. After what they did in Ventus, I ran away.
I'm sorry the Antam did that to you.
I do not have my old life or work, but I remember who I am. The Antam have lost even that.
You saw their banners? They're in the area.
I will not be seen.
Okay. Let me know if they bother you.
I am at peace, Avatash. I have the clouds to watch and fish to eat.
More than just fish. Here you go. Shathan said to eat the fruit before it spoils.
I like the cookies better.
Everyone likes the cookies better.
I'll eat the fruit. Thank you, Avatash.
Panaheydan. I'll see you soon.
So, the dragon hunter has a softer side.
The Qune says you take care of people.
So, you're a little Qunari, a little Ravani, and a little dragon?
Yeah?
I get that.
Come on. I should tell my mother how Karash is doing. So how do you get it?
I had to leave most of my old life behind when I joined the Shadow Dragons. And now, I'm fighting elven gods. So you take what works from each path, right?
Yeah. I had to take Qunari language classes growing up. I had to learn how to tie these stupid knots. It wasn't so bad when the Qunari and Ravain were at peace. Now the Antam have broken from the Qune and started attacking. People look at me like they're scared I'll switch sides.
That's their loss. People who've only ever been one thing will never know how big the world is.
Yeah? Maybe. Mother, what are you doing here?
You used to call me Tama.
I also used to wet the bed. Want me to start that up again?
I'd rather you didn't. Because she's sleeping in my base, which means I own the bed. I'm actually next on laundry detail.
She always did like the mouthy ones. In truth, Evitash's tastes are quite varied, although it is uncommon for her to be attracted to men.
Mother.
Perhaps because in some ways, she acts more like a man herself.
Why are you here?
I came to ask Karash about the tablet your group recovered. I wondered if some of the symbols might be used among the Antam.
Be gentle. Don't make him talk about the war.
I see the wisdom of your suggestion. I also see that you used your fire again. Chakra Toebra.
Chakra Toebra.
Remember to keep your consonants crisp. Kunari do not slouch, and neither does our language. Panahedan, Evitash. You did well bringing Karash his food.
Sorry. She's like that.
Sometimes I wonder where you got your attitude. And then we talk to your mother.
What? I don't talk anything like her.
Okay.
Shut up.
Thanks for the walk.
I understand that your mother is quite the scholar, Taash.
Yep.
It must have been wonderful growing up learning from her.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm excited to travel together, Taash. I've heard such stories about the Lords of Fortune.
Don't touch me if I die.
I beg your pardon?
Don't do weird magic to my corpse.
I assure you, a watcher always... Wait, what do you mean by weird?
No death magic. Rook gets my body if I die.
And what now?
If that's what you wish.
Wait, death mage. You eat?
Why wouldn't I?
Oh. Death mage stuff?
I had jam and toast only an hour ago.
Looks like the Antam got the supplies that were meant for the crows.
We must get the supplies back and deal with those Antam.
The Antam kept me alive so they could use me to trick Ravain into sending more supplies. I didn't think anyone was coming.
The Lords of Fortune wouldn't abandon you. It's the least we could do for the crows.
Thank you for your timely arrival. I'll get the supplies to Treviso and pay back the Antam there.
I've rarely spoken with Kunari scholars, as you can imagine. I'm curious about how your mother categorizes her areas of study.
Then go ask her.
What, do you think she'd be interested in a cultural exchange?
Sure, bring Manfred. She'll be thrilled.
There's no need to mock